Imagine waking up to a quiet morning, sipping your coffee, and hearing an unusual sound coming from your backyard. It's a digging noise. Confused, you step outside to investigate, only to find the HOA digging a well right on your property without your permission. But what they didn't know was that they had just hit something far more dangerous than they could ever imagine: a federal oil pipeline buried underground. It all started when the HOA decided they needed to dig a new well to improve the neighborhood's water supply. I didn't think much of it at first because they had mentioned the idea in one of their meetings. But when I found them digging right behind my house without any warning, I was furious. They had no business being on my land without my consent. I rushed outside to confront them. "What do you think you're doing?" I shouted, feeling my blood pressure rise. The workers, confused by my sudden appearance, explained that they had gotten approval from the HOA board to start the well and assumed this was the best spot. I was livid. How could they dig on my property without even notifying me? But that wasn't the worst part. As they continued digging, the situation quickly escalated. The ground started to shake, and I could hear a strange hissing sound coming from beneath the surface. Suddenly, the workers stopped and looked at each other in disbelief. That's when they noticed a strange, metallic smell in the air. Something was wrong. One of the workers, in a panic, shouted, "We've hit something." And just like that, the entire scene turned from a misunderstanding to a nightmare. Within seconds, the HOA workers and I realized what we had struck: an underground federal oil pipeline. And it wasn't just any pipeline, it was one of the major pipelines supplying oil across the region. The noise grew louder, and I could see the workers scrambling to shut off valves and take action, but it was too late. The ground started to bubble, and oil began to seep up through the dirt. I was horrified. My mind raced. This was no longer about a simple dig. We were standing on a ticking time bomb. Luckily, the emergency teams arrived just in time to prevent a disaster. The pipeline wasn't breached, but the incident could have been catastrophic. The authorities quickly took control, and the situation was diffused, but the damage was done. The HOA was immediately fined, and I was left to deal with the aftermath. The whole situation had turned my peaceful life upside down. But one thing was for sure: no one would ever dig on my property again without proper permission and knowledge of what lies beneath. This was a reminder that things are not always what they seem on the surface.